Okay, let's talk about the fortune cookie principle because this applies, as weird as it sounds, to every brand that's out there that wants customers who keep coming back to them. So when you get a fortune cookie, right? You get a cookie. No, you really get a fortune, all right? The cookie is just the delivery vehicle. And it's the same thing for your product and your brand and the things that the customer gets really when they buy your product. So for instance, Liquid Death, great brand, obviously very disruptive in their space. Obviously, I'm a fan. I've talked about it before. They don't sell water, right? They put it in a can with metal music type branding. Obviously, they're going for something else besides water, or they would just be another Aquafina. No, they sell rebellious activism, right? They back that up with death to plastic, and they have all of these mutilation type imagery and things to promote the murder of your thirst and the death to plastic. And it's harsh, it's disruptive, but it means something. You're not getting water, you're getting to be a part of that liquid death community. Another example, Nike, which is probably the most famous example. They don't sell shoes, right? They sell inspiration. Harley Davidson, they don't sell motorcycles, they sell rebellion too. They sell being part of a community. Ultimately, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get people who will rally around your brand. Another great community brand would be CrossFit. They don't sell fitness. That's just the vehicle for bringing in their tribe of fitness conscious people who want to push their limits, right? You see CrossFit, you understand exactly what that name implies. You understand that you're going to kick your own butt, right? And that's attractive to some people, and it's not attractive. In fact, it might be a little bit offensive to other people, and that's okay. You want to offend people who you don't need to spend your time selling to. And I don't mean offend by personally offend them. I just mean be off-putting, right? And maybe it is personally offended if that's your thing. I doubt it. But you want to be off-putting to the wrong audience because knowing who you're not for is just as important as knowing who you are for. So the fortune of the cookie makes you feel something, right? And you get that cookie. Nobody goes to the Chinese restaurant and is like, I can't wait for the end of this meal. I can eat this blandish cookie. And now the cookie's decent, right? When you have a fortune, you do need a tasty vehicle for it. You don't want it to be off-putting and I don't even want to open the wrapper. But the fortune is the thing that you keep coming back for, right? It is the thing that makes you feel something. And you're trying to get people to feel something about your brand. Why? Because it has to do with how we make decisions in our brain. It is a biological certainty that we care more about why you have a product than what your product does or how it does it. You've probably heard Simon Sinek talking about this. He coined this start with why principle. If you haven't seen that, go check out his TED Talk. It's fantastic. I'm just standing on his shoulders when I do my branding because it's all about the why. I focus on the why when I help you with your brand. The reason why of the why is because in our limbic brain, that is where we process emotion and where we process decision making. So they're intertwined. You have to feel an emotion in order to prompt a actionable response. So you don't want to talk and talk and talk about the cookie. You want to talk about the fortune. So analyze what you're doing with your brand right now, okay? You don't want to say what your product is. You want to talk about who your customer becomes when they use it. Don't talk about your product all the time and your all these innovative solutions that you provide and all of these, cool bells and whistles. Your competitors can come around and basically copy every feature of your product if they wanted to, if they don't already. So the only way to differentiate yourself is to talk about your fortune. Why do I care about opening up your cookie wrapper and breaking that thing in half? There's something in there that's a fortune for me, and to use a nice little easy pun, that's how you as your business make a fortune too. So How do you start doing this if you're not doing it already? Well, one, you do need to know what you sell really well, okay? Put that out there. What is the literal physical cookie? Then identify the fortune, okay? What would your competitors say, right? What's the boring side of the fortune? Then what's the real fortune? What's the thing you're trying to get people to stake their claim on when it comes to your brand? And then when you really narrow that down and you really deeply understand it, then you can design everything you do around your fortune. And that's a really key point, because I don't just mean your ads. I don't just mean your website. I mean internally too. If you are like Patagonia and you care about environmental activism, right? And you don't have policies within your company that reflect that. Say you want to be zero waste, or you want to use as much green energy as you can in your buildings. If you don't have people who work for you who care about that and want to be involved in some way in that, you've got an internal problem that will become an external problem. So everything that your fortune, your why, your reason for being implies, you have to convert that into your team internally. You have to convert that externally into how you talk about your brand. You have to make sure your salesmen are using that language and talking about that, and not just trying to force somebody into a close. So your fortune in that little cookie is so very important. And if you don't know that, it's time to start figuring that out. I am here. I help brands do this. I've been doing it for over 12 years. Check out the description of this video. It has a link to my calendar. Pick a time. I'll give you 15 to 30 minutes just to chat and learn about what challenges you're facing with your brand. And then it all goes from there. But I would love to be able to just crack open that cookie for you. So if you're not focusing on the fortune of your fortune cookie, time to do that. And once you do, you will grow. Good luck.